crew to come to your home. We also give you a whole home electrical safety inspection because Capital does electrical now too. And if you join by September 30th, we will give you 3 months free and install a free whole home surge protector. That's important because all those little power surges sap the life from your appliances and electronics. You need the right breaker, so if you don't have it, we'll let you know. So, in addition to all the other benefits, an electrical safety inspection, no more trip fees, and if you join the Capital Cares Club, I'm recording an ad here, buddy. If you join by September 30th, you get a free whole home surge protector and 3 months free of the Capital Care. We're renaming the club to what?
Join Merle's League of Home Defenders today, online at callcapitalcares.com.
Merle's League?
This is The Fix-It Show on WTMJ. Advice and opinions expressed during the program are solely that of the hosts or guests and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC. When it comes to home repairs, we could all use a guy. Well, we've got the guy. And we've got the show. For all your home improvement questions, we've got answers. This is The Fix-It Show on WTMJ, presented by J&B Construction and Siding Unlimited. Now, here's your host, Dayton Kane and David Nason.
Welcome to the last Saturday of August. Seems like it was just the 4th of July, and here we are at Labor Day.
Right.
It's crazy. Yes. But how are you, Dave?
Good. I am good. Good morning, Dayton. Good
Running
morning,
like crazy still? Business good?
I am busy, yes.
It's going to get busier. You heard the interest rates are dropping. House mortgage rates are dropping. So we're going to see more sales of homes, hopefully.
Yeah. My schedule is, I was just looking, I'm scheduling the 3rd week of September.
Okay. So if you need an inspection,
Right.
get in sooner than later.
Yeah, and it's things, I mean, I'm doing home inspections. I'm doing roof inspections, exterior inspections. I was out in Wanakee yesterday inspecting the outside, just the outside of a house. They had a home inspection done, and I was referred to do the stone veneer and the siding. So doing those kind of things, just a lot of stuff going on, a lot of different things.
And President Wahi still? Is that?
I am still the president of Wahi.
So, since we're starting the show off, we often talk about this later in the show. Let's get it right off the bat. You guys got a big event coming up.
Right. So Wahi, if you don't know, that's the Wisconsin Association of Home Inspectors. Really the only association in Wisconsin that all we do is focus on what happens here in Wisconsin. There are other organizations for home inspectors, but they're national, and they talk about every other state or everything. And not to sound crass or anything, it doesn't matter to me as a home inspector here in Wisconsin what the rest of the country necessarily is doing,
right? Because
we have our own standards here in Wisconsin. They're different than other states, so I have to follow the standards here in Wisconsin, and that's why he focuses on that as far as education.
What you have at a house in Arizona is a lot different than what we're dealing with here in Wisconsin.
Absolutely.
So it makes sense to specialize.
Right. So Wahi has always been an organization where we really focused on educating the members, the home inspector members. And we have a lot of affiliate members as well, a few that are on the show here. Chris Mancuso, Accurate Basement Repair, is a valued member. Scott Klein from J&B Construction. They are Creative Construction. Not on our show, they advertise, but that company is incredible benefit to our organization as well. So anyways, education-wise, in 21, the state of Wisconsin changed the standards for becoming a home inspector. Okay. You now have to have at least 40 hours of training. Prior to that, you really didn't.
Just show up at somebody's house and be like,
no, you still had to be licensed in order to do a home inspection.
You had to take.
You had to take a national exam and a state exam, which were, I don't want to say they were easy, but I didn't take any training. There were always schools that you could go to and everything. Because of the background that I had, I just went and took the test and I was able to pass it. But somebody who, let's say you've been in the kind of the trades now and what you're doing with Siding Unlimited. Let's say you decide, hey, I want to be a home inspector. If you would have gone and take the exam, it probably would have been a little difficult for you. But so you would now have to take this 40-hour class.
Gotcha.
And so the Wisconsin Association of Home Inspectors puts on a class twice a year, and our second one is coming up here in October. And it's going to be held in Fond du Lac, October 7th through the 11th. That's a Monday through Friday. in Fond du Lac, and you can find information on our website, which is wahigroup.com, WAHI group.com, and it's wahigroup.com because if you go and search Wahi, there's some other Wisconsin Association of Homicide Inspectors, I think.
Oh, different group altogether.
Right, exactly. So it's a 5-day class. 3 days are in classroom with two of our instructors who are Wisconsin inspectors. They've been inspecting, both of them, for 20, maybe 25 years plus, each of them. And then the last 2 days, Thursday and Friday, we go to a house. When I say we, it's the instructors, the students, and then about anywhere from 5 to 10 inspectors, and I typically volunteer as well. We go to a house in the area, a different one on Thursday and Friday. And the first day, on Thursday, the seasoned inspectors, the experienced inspectors, will take the students around the house and inspect the house for them as our quote-unquote client. So they actually experience what an inspection is. And we'll do that a couple times during the day, maybe 3 times during the day. They'll switch up with different inspectors. We all have different ways of looking at things, different techniques and things. So you just kind of give them that. And then on Friday, we flip that, and now the students become the inspectors, and they inspect the house for us. And so we go through the house again a couple times. So it is a very good hands-on training, very thorough training. Yeah. And then, so what that does is then that gives you, you complete that and you get a certificate from the state, because you have to then apply to the state and say, I went through this training, and prove that you did. Then they give you a certificate. Now you can take the national exam and then take the state exam. To get your license. So there's a few more steps to take now than when I became a home inspector in 2013.
All right.
So
WAHI group.com. Go check that out. Coming up in October, so get signed up now.
And that's the website also if you are looking for a home inspector. As you mentioned on the beginning of the show, I'm very busy. If you can't get me, and I would love to help anybody I can, but if you can't get me, I would very much recommend finding a home inspector that's a member of WAHI, and you can find all the home inspectors that are members there, because, like I said, we focus on training. You're going to find a home inspector who's trained, who's going to follow the standards that we have here in Wisconsin. The report's going to have certain things in it that it has to have in it. So best place to look for an inspector.
All right, no guests this hour, so we're taking your calls and texts at 855-616-1620. It is the last day of August, so September's tomorrow. We're going to go through today's homeowner.com's list of things we should do for maintenance in September, and we're going to run them by David Nason when we come back. Maintenance, home maintenance.
Mention that.
It is the Fix It Show on WTMJ.
Another divisional opponent who is continuing to fight for second place.
Back to the track. Gone! Fly ball deep left center. And another pair.
It's the Brewers and Reds. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 5:40.
Adames again.
This series is sponsored by Steinhaffel's Labor Day Sale. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
The savings really do add up. Last I checked, we've saved our clients over $7.5 million in real estate commissions. And we'd like to add your savings to the tally. All the same experience, expertise, and know-how as the big-name real estate firms. We just choose to charge you less, as low as 3.5% commission and no higher than 3.9%. For a full-service real estate agent, including full MLS marketing with no upfront fees. This is Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where we'll make your move simple and affordable. Benefit-realty.com. When we begin your search, I'm not going to try to sell you anything, because it's either the right home for you or it's not. What counts is that you'll have an honest, full-service realtor looking out for your best interests. So think of Benefit Realty as your advocates, which offer full-service real estate commission as low as 3.5% and no higher than 3.9%, including full MLS marketing with no upfront fees. I'm Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where we'll make your move simple and affordable. Benefit-realty.com.
Now's when the summer heat is working your AC system into overtime. And after this long, it may be on borrowed time. But some of these systems really can't last, especially Armstrong Air Pro Series systems. When your AC system says its final goodbye, think of the man in the red van and the over 60 years of experience that Quality Heating brings to your home. To get your new Armstrong Air Pro Series AC system installed right and right away.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality Heating, Quality Heating.
This is Anthony Zanevsky with Quality Heating. When you have over 20 HVAC techs working with you that each have over 20 years of experience, it gives you confidence to be able to go out there and talk reliability, integrity, value, all the things that matter when you hire someone to get the job done right the first time. These words mean everything to us, and we know they mean a lot to you. And that's what you'll get when you hire the man in the red van.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality Heating, Quality Heating.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
The Fix-It Show with Dayton Kane and David Nason on WTMJ.
Doubleheader for the Brewers and the Reds yesterday in Cincinnati. Brewers
Crushed
take
them.
Game 1 5-4, Game 2 14-0.
10 runs in the 9th inning.
What the heck?
Right.
We're still in first place in the NL Central by 10 games. First pitch tonight against Cincinnati at 6:15. So
The Badgers
Brewers.
won last night.
Yeah, what a great time to be a Wisconsin sports
Do
fan.
you think it's going to be another year? And I'm not going to jinx anybody
Yeah,
by saying this,
I
but
shouldn't even-
the Brewers are doing well. Maybe the Badgers will do well. The Packers are going to do well.
Bucks. Can we get them all
Bucks.
going at the
Yeah.
same time?
Yeah.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
That would be very cool.
All right, so tomorrow is September. So let's go through this list here from today's homeowner.com and get your opinion on it, David.
Okay.
All right? Since you're an inspector and a consultant, let's get consulting on this. Number 1 on the to-do list, what would you think that would be this time of year?
Paint and caulk.
Oh, good time to do that.
Yes.
Not on their list at all.
It's warm
but
and
you're
dry.
right.
It's warm and dry. That's on my list.
Yeah.
I still have the old wood trim around my windows. My LP Smart Side I'm not touching.
Right.
But the wood trim around my windows I have to do some painting and caulking. But
And it's not too hot.
no.
It's not too cold. It's a perfect time to do
Yeah,
that.
again, in my opinion, best time of the year to do your roof, painting and caulking, any exterior work, because it is drier and it's still warm. Guys who work outside, they love this time
They
of the
love
year.
fall, yeah.
It's cool in the morning. It gets a little warm. It's sunny, that kind of thing. They love September, October, into early November as far as working outside.
Yep. Number 1 on their list, service your heating and cooling system.
Yeah,
We're going
it's a
into
good idea.
winter, so if you haven't done that lately, if you haven't changed your
Yeah.
filter, if you haven't had somebody check out if you don't know what the blower and the motor are, and they're not cleaned, if you have never heard anybody talk about that, you probably should have that checked.
I heard one of Jason Fox's commercials on the way into the show this morning with Merle, and I thought, oh yeah, I need to schedule that coming up.
Number 2, inspect and repair the roof. Again, good time of
Yeah,
year to do
right.
that. Roof work is a great time of year to do that. You already mentioned that. Inspect and clean your fireplace and chimney. How would a typical homeowner do that? Or is that something a specialist needs to come in?
You can clean out the firebox.
Below in the basement?
Well, no, the firebox is basically where the
gotcha.
The wood and everything is. You can but it's messy.
Mine actually, I can open it and it dumps down into a
that's
bin in
called
the
an ash
basement.
dump.
So when I moved in, that ash dump was completely full. No,
right.
they had not cleaned that. It took me forever to
years
clean
and
that
years of doing that. So what I would recommend, if you have a wood burning fireplace, so a solid fuel they call it, wood burning, that you should have what's called a level 2 inspection. And whenever we do a home inspection, the National Fire NFRP, National Fire Protection Agent, NFPA, National Fire Protection Agency recommends that anytime a home is sold, it should have a level 2 inspection. Now, you probably, if you're in your house for 15, 20 years, you ought to be doing that every few years. And the reason is, what that is they run a camera up the flue all the way up to the top. They'll usually do it from inside, and that camera can see sideways, and you can see if there's any cracks or mortar missing from the flue tiles, cracks in the flue tiles, mortar missing from the joints, because that can get expensive to fix.
To the tune of $15,000, which is why my chimney just got taken down underneath the roof line. Because,
so definitely a good idea, but also keep it clean,
right,
so that you don't have a chimney fire.
Right.
Yeah.
So the problem with all those cracks and things is if you're burning fires in that fireplace, that smoke's just going into the house, into the attic, into the walls, into the
walls.
Yeah,
exactly.
So you don't want that happening.
So here's the tip. If you didn't know this, when you start a fire in your fireplace, you want to start it small. You want a little fire, get it going, and because you want that heat to go up gradually. You get a roaring fire in there right off the bat, all this kindling or whatever, and boom, this fire. If it's cold out, I think there might be a video on our Wahi Group website where we saw an example of this, where they literally started a fire in some flue tiles that they stacked up, a fireplace company did, and lit it on fire and really hot, and within a matter of minutes, these flue tiles were cracking.
Sure, because they go from cold to hot. Yeah.
Just like that. So you got to start a slow fire and slowly get things warming up. Once it's going for a little while, then you can get it roaring.
All right, good advice. All right, we'll get to more of this list when we come back, and we'll take your calls and your texts, 855-616-1620, the WTMJ Talk and Text line. Thank you for listening to The Fix-It Show on WTMJ.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Who do you support?
I'm sorry?
I want to know which side you support.
Oh, we support the right.
Ah.
And the left.
What?
The front and back, too.
I don't understand.
No matter which side you sleep on, we support you. And right now, we're providing extra support.
How's that?
Purchase a new Sealy Posturepedic, Beauty Rest, or Serta Perfect Sleeper through Monday and get a strong, supportive box spring free.
Oh.
Shop an employee-free showroom and get a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Elm Cove Sea Queen mattress. Others sell it for $1,799, but Hasselus has it for just $942. Check out the super low pricing on Sealy Posturepedic and Serta Perfect Sleeper too.
Wow.
Plus, free next day delivery and haul away of your old mattress.
And a free box spring?
Yes, because you deserve our full support.
Well, you got my vote.
Now through Monday at Hasselus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Find a self-service employee-free showroom near you at hasselus.com.
When I finished law school, my grandpa was long retired from working in the Rapids paper mill.
Dan Krause, Army veteran and owner of Krause Estate Planning in Brookfield.
Grandma and Grandpa asked me to help them get their wills set up. This was my first experience helping people with estate planning. I loved it. I loved helping my grandparents with this. Now, 25 years later, essentially that's all we do. We help people with wills, trusts, and asset protection.
Shore up your estate plan with Krause Estate Planning in Brookfield.
Our pain relief treatments are FDA approved. That's why your insurance will likely cover them. So-called bioregenerative options are considered experimental, and your insurance will not cover those. Our process is simple. Stem cells, plasma, and bone marrow therapies are not at all simple, and they're nowhere near as affordable as we made our treatments. At Rejuvenex, the cost of your pain relief treatment can be as low as $65 per injection per joint. Our proprietary, powerful, anti-inflammatory and lubricating treatments allow for better joint function that can alleviate your pain. And after we start, your next treatment could be as long as 18 to 24 months away. For some, it's sooner, but when it's working, it's worth it. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Pain Clinics. We can alleviate your pain, and that'll rejuvenate your life. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Since 1955, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Hey, don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget. They'll even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to GeisDoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Fix It Day. It's the Fix It Show on WTMJ.
All kinds of stories flying around the studio. Pitbull and T-Pain at American Family Field tonight. I met Pitbull's manager and did fireball shots with them at a bar in Chicago one time. You said,
Pitbull's sister lives in Oconomowoc.
What?
She and her husband own a small little French, really, really nice French, I guess, what do you call it? Not a restaurant, but it's a little... I'm drawing a blank on here, but you basically breakfast. Bistro? Yeah, that's a good word.
Okay.
Breakfast and lunch and you know.
Pitbull's sister lives in Oconomowoc.
And they make the best croissants. Just amazing croissants.
And Isaac's in the producer's studio. He met T-Pain. It's just all kinds of connections flying around. And yet none of us are going to go see the show tonight.
No.
All right. Coming up next hour, we do have the Gatish Foundation on with us.
Yeah.
Gatish Foundation...
They do basement foundation repair.
Yeah.
They are a WAHI member.
Okay.
Yep. Jeff's going to be in. They're a great member of WAHI as well. So there's so many, at least here in the Milwaukee area, that are affiliates that I can't remember them all. That
there's so many
that we really rely on for our as home inspectors.
So we'll be talking basements next hour. This hour, though, no guests on. So if you have calls or texts, 855-616-1620 for those questions. We're going through a list of things to do in September, seeing as, wow, tomorrow is September.
Yeah.
We did get a text here, though. My question should have a quick answer. When you have a ceiling fan, I've heard that you should change the direction when it becomes autumn. I'm wondering, is this correct direction that you switch it to? Currently, mine is going counterclockwise. Thoughts, or is this just a myth?
So counterclockwise. I'm not sure if I should say counterclockwise or clockwise because it depends on maybe which way the blades are angled. Are they all?
I think they're all angled the same.
So in the summer, let me just say that in summer you want it turning where it's pushing the air down, so you'll actually feel the air movement.
Right.
And in the winter time, you want to reverse it so that it actually draws the air up. And so you're not really feeling it blowing on you. You just feel the fan's doing is moving the air through the room.
Right.
And so especially if you have a higher or vaulted ceiling, warm air rises, so all your heat is really going to go up to the upper portion of the room. So you're heating a larger volume of space than if you have a flat ceiling. So you want to try to move that air around, and it'll keep the room more comfortable.
Keep it circulating.
Definitely.
I'm going to skip to number 5. We'll go back to number 4 here because we're talking about fireplaces and things. One thing, number 5 says, check fire extinguishers.
Sure.
1, do you know where they are? What 1, do you have one? 2, do you know where it is? 3, is it actually charged? Can you look at the little dial, and does it actually... How long is a fire extinguisher typically good for?
Good question, because my neighbor was, just real quick, he was on his boat on the Milwaukee River and got stopped for, it wasn't speeding or anything, but ended up getting pulled over. They did a safety check and everything, going through everything. The last thing they checked was his fire extinguisher, and the dial showed that it was in the green, but the police officer or patrol officer turned it over, and on the bottom there was a date, and it was from 2002 or something, so it was 22 years old, almost, somewhere in there. But the officer said, well, fire extinguishers really only last about 13 years. And I don't know if that's a known thing or something. So he had to replace his fire extinguisher. So I'd have to do a search or something. You know what? I take that back. My neighbor lives across from me. She's the fire chief in Watertown. And I asked her, and she said, yeah, it's about 12 to 13 years that fire extinguishers last. Yeah.
Wonder why.
The thing is, in your home, if it's in the green, I wouldn't throw it away. Maybe you'd want to buy another one, a brand new one, but it's not like you can test them, because once you pull the thing, it's a one and done use.
So I have 2 in my house. I have one underneath the kitchen sink, and I have one down at the bottom of the basement stairs. So they're both very accessible if I need them for some reason.
But if you're
I don't know how old they are. That's a good question.
In a commercial space, you have to have them inspected, I believe, once a year and tagged and things like that. But and then they would probably replace them as needed. In your home, like I said, I wouldn't get rid of it. But I've seen some really old ones in inspections. You're like, whoa, you can tell that thing's like 40 or 50 years old. I wouldn't count on that one. Having a charge. You pull the pin and it goes. Pfft.
That one still has water in it. It's not.
Well, and then some you see up in an attic where you got this little globe of glass,
yeah,
and it's designed so that when it heats up, that will break, but it's not water. So we're told that it's got a chemical in it, so you don't want to touch that. If you see one up in your attic, you'd probably want to have somebody who deals with some hazardous materials or something to remove that. But every once in a while, I'll see one of those up in people's attics because it's got a fire retardant or something in it. So definitely don't break it.
We need to take another break. When we come back, more of your texts. I see them coming in, 855-616-1620, and more things to check before we get into September here. It is the Fix It Show on WTMJ.
Hey, John Mercure here for Landworks Wisconsin, locally owned landscape company that's fantastic. I know because they're doing the work in my yard. From their crews to the design consultants to the admin team, they're going to take great care of you when you're taking care of your home or your business. Joe, the guy working at my house, made a good observation. He was out there the other day and said, hey, what about bulbs? They're beautiful in the spring. Think about getting on the schedule for the fall today. You want a beautiful yard next year? You need to put some work into it this year. They are the real deal. LandworksWisconsin.com. Check it out. LandworksWisconsin.com.
Milwaukee PBS Fest. 9 great days of concerts and specials, including Fleetwood Mac, The Dance, Sherlock on Masterpiece, and Revival 69, the concert that rocked the world. Tonight at 7 on Channel 10, rock with Bo Diddley, Chuck Berry, and John Lennon in Revival 69, that concert that rocked the world. Milwaukee PBS Fest. Concerts and specials just for you, now playing on Channels 10 and 36, Milwaukee PBS.
The new and improved Revere Sleeper Sofa from Penny Mustard is a real game changer.
But this isn't your founding father's sleeper sofa.
Declare independence from painful bars in the middle of your back.
And enjoy a superbly supple mattress on a solid base.
I guess you could say the Revere Sleeper Sofa is revolutionary.
The Revere Sleeper Sofa, starting at just $109 a month, with only 1 penny down and no interest till September of 2027 through September 8th at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Outdoor living is great, but it's best when it's at your own home. Well, there's a company called Outdoor Living Unlimited that will build you a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, all manner of things to enhance outdoor living at your place, even an outdoor kitchen. Get started right away. Contact Outdoor Living Unlimited now. Get your yard project onto Outdoor Living Unlimited's calendar while there's still openings. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
WTMJ's The Fix-It Show with David Nason and Dayton Kane.
Sunny, high of 83 today, 62 in Milwaukee. Dayton Kane and David Nason on The Fix-It Show, 855-616-1620, the WTMJ talk and text line. From the 262, it says if you have a wood-burning fireplace with an insert, blower motor, and the dedicated exhaust piping in the old fireplace, or in the old chimney.
Right.
Do you still need the level 2 inspection? Thank you, Scott from Brookfield.
Yeah, probably not as often. Maybe every once 5 years or so. You still need to clean it. You need to have it swept because you don't want the buildup of the
soot, the creosote.
Yeah, creosote. Yes, not. I was going to say carbon. If you have a gas fireplace and it looks like you got all this black stuff on it, sometimes that might be that your the logs are not in the right place, because the gas flame is hitting them, and so you get incomplete combustion. So that's why you're getting all the carbon buildup. And carbon really isn't flammable like creosote is. Creosote's a result of solid fuel burning.
Right.
So that's why you always want to burn wood that's as dry as possible, and hardwood, not softwoods.
That dead ash that's around,
right.
not good fireplace.
Oh, sure.
Oh, it
absolutely.
Is? That is?
That's about the best thing.
The only thing you can do with it
now. And some of it's you can make things with it, but what the texter is saying, that if it's a flue liner where they lined it,
right,
then that should be all one piece that they stretch from bottom to top. That's why you don't have seams or anything in it, so that should be able to last a little longer. It's the metal fireboxes that have the metal flues that are still wood burning, and there's seams every 8 feet or 6 feet, however long they are, 4 feet, and those can come apart. And so you definitely want to have those, a level 2 inspection done on those. Humble sweeps, is a company. They're an affiliate of Wahi. Nick Hameter, great guy. He can do level 2 inspections and do repairs on those as well.
All right, 855-616-1620, the WTMJ talk and text line if you have a question. Get them in. Number 4 on the to-do list for September. Ready? Tomorrow's September.
Yes.
Wow. Trim tree limbs near roof and chimney.
Yes. Yes.
Why would we care?
Because,
what's the point?
Because they are ladders for animals.
Yeah. Squirrels and raccoons want to find a place to be warm.
Absolutely.
And you're giving them a pathway, right?
Yeah. I see evidence of mice in 75%, maybe 60 to 75% of the attics that I go in. There's evidence of mice. And a lot of times people are surprised. Like, oh, yeah, there's mice in just about. They're not now because it's still warm enough outside. They're outside. But come winter, they'll be there. And the first thing, if you call a pest management company, the first thing they're going to say is trim the vegetation away from your house.
Yeah.
Get that tree away, those tree branches away, get the bushes away, get the vines off your house. My sons know that, and my wife, they all know that I say, yeah, vines look good on somebody else's house.
Yeah. They do look nice, but they're not good for your home.
They are not good
at
for
all,
your house.
in any
Exactly.
way.
They can cause damage to brick and stone and any kind of siding.
Yeah. And they allow creatures to.
They look great on buildings over in Europe. Those buildings are hundreds, thousands of years old, but those are masonry structures, solid masonry. They didn't build their buildings like we build them. So get that stuff away from your house.
All right, we do have a call at 855-616-1620. Let's go to Glenn in New Berlin. Good morning, Glenn. What's your question?
Good morning. I have a question on my sump pump. It normally, when it rains heavily, it kicks in every 20 minutes. And about 6 weeks ago, all of a sudden, it has not kicked in at all. But I go in the basement and look at the sump pump. The water is perfectly clear, but no water is coming out of those pipes. And I go around the foundation every day looking for water leaks, and there is none, and now it's over 6 weeks. So do I have a problem or what?
Well, Glenn, you figured out how to keep the water away from your basement. So whatever you've done, the number one way to keep water away and out of your basement is grading and
grading. I have excellent grading all around the house, and I'm the original owner, and in 45 years I've been in here. The sump always, when it rains, it works.
Yeah. Well, like I said,
now it didn't kick in 6 weeks.
Well,
we've been pretty dry.
How old is the house, Glenn?
48 years old, and it has been kicking in all these years, and I'm very conscious. I watch on it. So now, all of a sudden, we had rain a couple weeks ago, an inch of rain. No sump pump kicked in.
And no construction
no
around your home anywhere? Yeah. Nobody's building or moving anything?
All.
48 years ago, I don't like doing math on the air, but that's 1976?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, 76. I thought I did that pretty well.
Good.
And so that's fairly modern. And so what I was getting at is that it's not built like in the 40s, 50s where your drain tile, quote unquote drain tile, are actual concrete tiles, pipes that are set end to end. So your drain tile is probably plastic tubing that goes around the perimeter of the house.
I think so, yes.
So that can collapse over time. It maybe it was a part was collapsing or something, and water was able to get past, and then it's just finally got to a point where it can't pass water anymore. That's a possibility. But if you're not seeing any water coming in at the base of the wall or staining at the bottom of the wall, because that's an indication when...
Right. I go with a flashlight. I look every place.
You've been listening to Chris Mancuso.
Yeah. So did you try pouring water into the crock to see if it'll kick on? Like, is the sump pump actually working?
Yes. I lifted the float up, and it worked.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a good point, Dane, is to try to make the pump work. And sometimes, like you said, you got to pour water into it. If you just go and lift the pump and it's kind of humming, if there's no water in there, well, I can hum too, and I don't pump water. So, So what you want to do is actually pour water, get a 5-gallon bucket and pour enough water in there to get to the float to rise to actually make it pump all the water out. But I don't know. It sounds like you've taken care of your grading and drainage around your house and filling
yes,
water.
I'm very, very fussy on everything like that. But now, I don't know. I was hoping it would correct itself somehow.
Yeah, it wouldn't correct itself because if there's an issue, it's under the concrete floor. And so the only thing you could do is go to our WAHI website and look up affiliates. We have a couple on there that do drain tile testing and find somebody, an independent person, to come out and take a look and do an evaluation to give you some opinion on whether or not you should have a drain tile test.
That's what I was thinking, but I listen to your show every week.
Thanks for listening.
I'm very loyal, but I have everything in good shape.
Right.
Good. I don't have no problems.
All right. Well, Glenn, we appreciate you calling and we appreciate you listening.
Thank you.
Have a great Labor Day weekend.
Right.
Okay. 855-616-1620, the WTMJ talk and text line. No guest for the next couple segments, and we got all kinds of texts that just came in, so we'll get to those when we come back. It is the Fix It Show on WTMJ.
Quick question. How are you feeling in 2024? You're not alone if you're feeling stressed about your investment and retirement planning. There's inflation, market volatility, global unrest, and a presidential election that's going to have a huge impact on many levels. There's a lot going on, which might lead to anxiety and planning paralysis. How about this? Take control with help from Annex Wealth Management. Build a plan that matches up with you, your family, and your investment and retirement goals. Even better, Annex does it as a fee-only fiduciary with unbiased advice. We don't sell a thing. Annex offers financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth is a great fit for most, especially when approaching retirement. For those with high net worth and complex planning challenges, consider the Annex Private Client Experience. And if you're just starting out, Annex Ignite might be the right fit. Head to AnnexWealth.com, click the Get Started button. It only takes a couple of minutes. It's time to put things in order and lower the stress and anxiety. Know the difference with a fee-only fiduciary. That's Annex Wealth Management, AnnexWealth.com.
As a discount real estate broker, I'm often asked why we charge less. And there are a few reasons. We charge less because we can. Low overhead allows for it. Our low commission structure also gives us an edge over the firms that will give you everything we will, but charge you substantially more. And lastly, we charge you less so that I can sleep at night. I figure a fair rate for an honest day's work always helps with that. This is Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where we'll make your move simple and affordable. Benefit-realty.com. I'm Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where we make your move simple and affordable. Simple, because all you'll need to do is let us market your home with full MLS marketing and show you all the homes available that fit your needs and your price range. Affordable, because in real estate, that's the name of the game. And 3.5 to 3.9% real estate commission with no upfront fees is truly as affordable as it gets. So let's get your home on the market and begin your search. Benefit-realty.com.
Breathing triangle problems negatively affect your sleep, making it hard to be at your best. Balloon sinuplasty can help solve these problems so you can breathe well, sleep well, and live better.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for J.D. Griffiths. It was more than a year ago that my wife and I decided we needed new garage doors. And now a year later from J.D. Griffiths, and they look brand new. Just gorgeous garage doors that enhance the look of the house. They pop. I tell you, they pop. J.D. Griffiths has been doing it for more than 70 years. And they're not just providing premier garage doors. They're also Milwaukee's detached garage builders. They do it all for you. And now J.D. Griffiths is offering you a deal. You can get $100 off a new garage door opener with the purchase of a brand new garage door from J.D. Griffiths. They'll come in, you'll get that free at-home estimate, and they'll take care of you. Here's what you do. Go to the website, jdgriffiths.com/WTMJ, or call 414-362-7222 and mention me, Eric Bilstead, and you will save some cash. Check out J.D. Griffiths and enhance the look of your home. Those garage doors, they pop. 414-362-7222, J.D. Griffiths.
We may not solve the world's problems, but maybe we can help solve some of your homes. It's the Fix It Show on WTMJ.
Packers versus Eagles this Friday from Brazil. First game of the season upon us this week already. Dayton Kane and David Nason doing the Fix It Show. 855-616-1620, the WTMJ talk and text line. Let's go to Scott in Racine. Good morning, Scott. What's your question?
Morning.
Morning.
Okay, heating duct right over the washer and dryer down the basement. But we had these bad, humid days last week. The air was working fine, real good, and the unit's only a year old, both furnace and compressor outside. But I had condensation so bad in this one duct, I had to wipe. It was dripping water. I had to take a bathroom towel and wipe it off. My filter's clean. Can you help me out?
Do you think that particular duct is the one that's bringing fresh air from outside?
That's what I thought. I think that's the one that's blowing. I don't know if that's a cold or, if it's not the one that sucks in cold. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. Because if the duct is inside the house, inside the basement, it shouldn't really be condensing because it's in the conditioned space that it's in. So the only thing I was thinking is that it's bringing air from outside. So when you're cooling your home and your air conditioning is getting rid of the humidity in your house, then if you're bringing outside air, and this time of the year or last week when it was so warm and humid, that air is going to come in contact with the metal ducts, and you're going to get condensation. Conversely, in the winter when you're heating and you bring cold air in, the only other thing that just came to my mind is sometimes I see this happen on inspections. You're running your air conditioner, but is the humidifier still left on? So now the humidifier.
I don't know if I have I don't think I have a humidifier. Okay. I did Google this about condensation.
Yeah.
I don't have a humidifier hooked up to the furnace. Right. I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, if your furnace and air is a year old, you should probably call the contractor who installed it and get them out there to look at it. Yeah, that's an interesting conundrum.
I had the vent closed, so more, because I don't need it down the basement.
Right.
So I opened it up. Maybe that'll help blowing it out.
It could.
Then the duct might need to be cleaned too, but I had to throw it by you. And
interesting.
Yeah, the only thing my first thought was it's bringing air from outside, and that duct that's bringing your fresh air should be an insulated duct so that it doesn't sweat like that. So if somebody put a metal duct in for your fresh air intake, then that's going to happen. So that should be an insulated duct if it's doing that.
This is an older home built in the 70s.
Okay.
So, I mean, it is just a straight galvanized, duct,
Okay.
About 5-6 feet long. And it's right over the washer and dryer, and that's where it's dripping on that, and I'm going like, wow. All right, I'll call the guy that installed it, and he'll give me some more insight.
There you go. Have a good holiday weekend, Scott.
To you.
All right.
Yeah, okay. Go to a car show, eat some brats.
All right. Sounds like a good time.
Have a good weekend. 855-616-1620, the WTMJ talk and text line. One more segment before we're joined by Gadish Foundation. So get your calls and texts in. It is the Fix It Show on WTMJ.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
I-94, eastbound. A semi just came to a screeching stop in the center lane. I think he's broken down right there.
Call me, Debbie Loziga, at the Hall Volkswagen Traffic Tip Line at 414-238-9329.
On southbound I-94, right around Drexel Avenue, there's a wreck in the left lane, and the left lane is blocked.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it? Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Fall Footwear Sale is going on now. Shop our unbeatable selection and prices on your favorite brands of fall boots and shoes. Right now, all Skechers are buy one, get one half price. Get a free $50 gift card when you buy any pair of Thorogood boots. Plus, we buy by the truckload so we can pass more savings on to you. Like Carhartt Rugged Flex non-denim work pants, 20% off. And in honor of Labor Day, all Blaine's Farm and Fleet stores will be closed Monday, September 2nd.
Did your home suffer damage from a storm or severe weather?
Don't stress any longer. Loyal Family Renovations treats all of its customers like they've joined their personal family, and every project as if the work was being done at their own house. Loyal Family Renovations has a leg up on the competition due to the personal relationships they've built with insurance adjusters over the years. Loyal Family is family-owned, and the loyalty belongs to their customers. Contact them today to get your free home inspection. LoyalFamilyRenovations.com.
HNTB, much like downtown Milwaukee, is on an accelerated growth track. Hi, I'm Ashley Booth, the Wisconsin office leader and a vice president of HNTB. The opportunities in downtown Milwaukee are endless, and it continues to be a tremendous location for retaining and attracting talent. I love working downtown, and so do all of our employees. Experience it for yourself. Go to MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
Ridiculous fees, robocalls, customer service that's lacking the actual service. It sounds like you might be getting bullied by your bank. You don't have to settle. At Wintrust, we take a different approach. Whether you need banking solutions, a new home, or help planning your financial future, Wintrust has local experts ready to lend a hand. Stop banking the same way expecting different results and start banking where you matter at wintrust.com/no-bully. Wintrust, different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp. Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Your home can be more maintenance free when you rely on J&B.
This is Tom Feza. When I have a roofing question, I contact Scott Klein, owner of J&B Construction, provider of high-quality exterior home improvement products and services since 1958.
Thanks, Tom. Between the two of us, we've seen hundreds of failed roofs, along with the unfortunate consequences of water damage. Poor workmanship, improper product usage, lack of ventilation, inferior flashing detail, and loss of control due to subcontractors are some of the most common reasons for roofs failing. At J&B, our objective is not just to sell another roof. We want to educate our clients. When J&B's experienced sales staff achieves that goal, our roof systems sell themselves.
For a complimentary roof evaluation, call Scott at 262-437-0537 or visit jnbconstruction.com.
Your home can be more maintenance free when you rely on J&B.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
One's a certified home inspector. The other's just certifiable. It's the Fix-It Show on WTMJ.
Sponsored by Siding Unlimited and J&B Construction. Dayton Kane and David Nason here. Our final segment before we're joined by Gadish Foundation. 855-616-1620. This text says, are the creosote sweeping logs effective at cleaning out chimneys?
They don't hurt. What I'm told, they can't do as good of a job as a chimney sweep.
Right.
Which, I mean, that just kind of makes sense. Especially if you have a 2-story tall chimney, the kind that on the outside of your house that's going all the way up. There's no way that's going to do all of that. So maybe a 1-story, do a little bit, or maybe a metal flue. It could do it, but I wouldn't count on it. Maybe do it every once in a while, but I wouldn't use that as my chimney sweeping.
Okay.
Definitely.
Next one here says, what should I know about good egress windows, perils, and who installs them? I think we might save that for next hour.
Next
because
hour.
that might be a good question.
Perils.
So if that was you, stick around for the next hour. Good morning. Do battery-operated backup sump pumps automatically test once in a while?
No. No, they don't.
So you got to just hope that battery's working.
Well, you can go down and test them.
You could unplug
the main one.
Yeah.
And then
the backup
pour water in. You got to have enough water in, and then make it pump.
Okay.
But in most systems, I think an alarm will go off when that one goes on. That's some of the ones I've seen. So you got to look at what you have there. The only thing that runs every once in a while is like a full home generator.
Right.
That's set to run. You can determine when it goes on, but not a battery backup.
All right. 855-616-1620. Our final thing on the to-do list for September as we get into September tomorrow. And I don't know how to do this, and I've never done it. Clean and lubricate your garage door. Is it just a matter of can you go to the big box store and get a garage door lubricant? And
probably. So I had some work done on one of my overhead doors, and I have the old screw drive.
Okay.
I don't think they do those so much anymore. Maybe.
Mine's a chain.
Yeah, I think mostly they're chain or belt. Maybe it's a screw, and they're noisy. And so he had to come and repair. I think one of the wheels broke off or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. So I had Joe Wilde, I think, out to fix my door. And after he was done, I was running the door. I was like, I could barely hear it. I was like, it is so quiet. What did you do? And he said, I just put some lithium grease on the screw drive. So not so much on you would think the wheels and the tracks and everything, which you want to keep that from getting all dusty and dirty and everything. But he lubricated the screw drive. And I said, where can I get that stuff? Because I got to do my other door. I have 2 single doors. And so I actually went to their office and bought some. But you can find that at a big box store, a hardware store. It's just a little tube of lithium grease and put that on that screw drive. So that...
Would that work on a chain, too, if you had a chain system?
Probably.
You would think, right?
Yeah, I think... so probably the bigger things is making sure your overhead door, the safety features are working. You want to have the photo eye beam down about 6 inches off the floor. You'd be surprised how many times I see them mounted up behind the opener, where they're mounted to the rafter right behind the opener, about 2 inches apart from each other, so that you don't break the beam. People think they're an annoyance. Well, that's an important safety feature.
Interesting.
A home inspector is going to call that a defect because it's a safety hazard. And then the second one is where you put something on the floor and you run the door and it hits something and then it has to stop and come back on its own.
If it just goes down and sits there.
Stops. That's called an entrapment hazard. You can find a YouTube video from LiftMaster, probably one of the biggest manufacturer of overhead doors. They have a great YouTube video. It shows you how to adjust your door. And it's not setting the door and going and grabbing onto the door. You're going to damage your door doing that. You want to put something on the floor, like a 2x4, not more than 2 inches, 2x4 or something on edge, and run your door. And when it hits that, it should stop and then come back up on its own.
All right.
And if it's not, then you got to adjust the opener. It's not damaged or anything. You just have to make an adjustment.
Good stuff. Thanks for all the calls and texts that came in this hour. It is the Fix It Show. That does it for hour number 1.
This has been the Fix It Show on WTMJ, presented by J&B Construction and Siding Unlimited. Advice and opinions expressed during the program are solely that of the hosts or guests, and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC.
Does your home need a new defensive coach? Have wind, cold, or water breached? I recommend Siding Unlimited. Wind and cold get through your windows? Siding Unlimited fixes that. Water challenging your roof? Siding Unlimited fixes that too. Is the siding letting the elements through or just looking offensive? Fixing that is Siding Unlimited's first and continuing specialty. When weather's offense beats your home's defense, contact Siding Unlimited. Their name says siding, but they are so much more. Whatever the breach, put Siding Unlimited in. Their good work is on display at their unique outside-in showroom. They're waiting for you. What are you waiting for? SidingUnlimited.com.
$1 million. That's big, really big. This September, Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is handing out a cool $1 million, and you've got a shot at winning your share. The big $1 million giveaway is here. Just play with your rewards card and you're entered to win. Couldn't be easier and couldn't be bigger. No wonder it's called the Big One. For more details, visit paysbig.com/big one. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement.
Get started
to all
with your
current
no-hassle
and
refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
Wait smart. Spend that time emptying out your pockets, putting loose items into your carry-on. It will really save you time when it's your turn to go through screening.
And the nation's major roads are busy this morning, expected to be less so by this afternoon into late evening. In the race for the White House, Vice President Kamala Harris continuing to say that she does not want a fracking ban, despite her previous statements. More from ABC's Mary Alice Parks.
Former President Donald Trump speaking at the National Summit of the controversial parents' rights organization Moms for Liberty, known for pushing book bans and upping attacks on public school teachers, focusing on immigration.
Our country is being poisoned, and your schools and your children are suffering greatly.
Earlier Friday, Trump campaigning in western Pennsylvania, ticking through other hot-button issues like energy and climate, hitting Harris for saying in 2019 she would ban fracking.
Trump, with a bit of a reversal himself, now saying that he will, as a Florida resident, vote no on a ballot measure aiming to overturn the state's near-total abortion ban, even though just the day before he indicated the state's new 6-week ban was too restrictive. An Israeli airstrike hit another aid convoy. ABC's Britt Clinton has more from Jerusalem.
The IDF saying armed men joined the convoy, which then went on to deliver that aid to a hospital even after the strike. And with limited pauses in fighting expected in the coming days to help facilitate a polio vaccine rollout, ceasefire talks grind on with no real breakthrough. A senior Israeli source telling me that Hamas are not exempt from the pauses in the fighting, and it is not the start of a more enduring ceasefire.
You're listening to ABC News.
Offer not valid in all states or prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Bills piling up? Rent due? Need cash help but have bad or no credit? Then you need to go to FastLoansAI.com, where you can get approved for a loan of up to $10,000 regardless of your credit score. FastLoansAI.com is one of the largest lender networks. Their advanced technology can help anyone get up to $10,000. Best part? Money can be in your bank account as fast as the same day. When you need fast cash, go to FastLoansAI.com. That's FastLoansAI.com.
Offer not valid in all states or prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
The search intensifies at and around Camp Pendleton in California, where a Marine has been reported missing. Base officials confirming that 23-year-old Lance Corporal Bailey Cameron was initially reported missing last Sunday. His mother, Juliana England.
He's very close with his family. He makes sure that we always know where he is.
Cameron was last seen leaving a local bar at about 1:30 in the morning alone. His backpack, glasses, and phone were found the day after he went missing on a curb outside of a nearby restaurant. Hockey fans stunned after NHL star Johnny Gaudreau and his 29-year-old brother Matthew were killed by an alleged drunk driver while riding their bikes in New Jersey Thursday night.
In Ohio and New Jersey, fans with tributes to the Blue Jackets forward of short stature but towering with talent.
Smaller guy, he kind of represents working hard.
There's a lot of good hockey players in South Jersey, and he was probably the best.
Gaudreau played in the NHL for 11 years. In 2022, he signed a 7-year contract with the Blue Jackets for nearly $70 million.
ABC's Mike Dubusky. They may have to make more episodes of Serial. There is a new twist in the case of the podcast featured. Maryland Supreme Court upholding a decision to reinstate Adnan Syed's murder conviction and ordering a new hearing. The court ruling that the 2022 hearing that freed Syed violated the legal rights of the victim's family. Syed remains free. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Not valid in all states or prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Bills piling up? Rent due? Need cash help but have bad or no credit? Then you need to go to FastLoansAI.com, where you can get approved for a loan of up to $10,000 regardless of your credit score. FastLoansAI.com is one of the largest lender networks. Their advanced technology can help anyone get up to $10,000. Best part? Money can be in your bank account as fast as the same day. When you need fast cash, go to FastLoansAI.com. That's FastLoansAI.com.
Hey, former radio wake-up guy Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. If that recent cold snap made you think that now is the time to replace those drafty old windows, then now is a good time to call Hometown Windows and Doors. Save heating costs now, cooling dollars down the road with energy-efficient replacement windows and doors from Hometown. Hometown offers the brands you trust like Anderson, Pella, Marvin, Softlight, and more in wood, vinyl, and fiberglass. And all of their products are installed by employee carpenters. Plus, Hometown is the area's only Pella Platinum and Marvin authorized replacement company. Hometown's dedicated consultants can guide you to the best fit and value for your home and your remodeling dollar. Stop in at their newly remodeled showroom in New Berlin and see the Hometown difference for yourself. Or call them for a no-pressure in-home consultation, 414-329-1200, or visit them at hometownwindows.com. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need.
Milwaukee PBS Fest. 9 great days of concerts and specials, including Fleetwood Mac, The Dance, Sherlock on Masterpiece, and Revival 69, the concert that rocked the world. Tonight at 7 on Channel 10, rock with Bo Diddley, Chuck Berry, and John Lennon in Revival 69, the concert that rocked the world. Milwaukee PBS Fest. Concerts and specials just for you, now playing on Channels 10 and 36, Milwaukee PBS.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from Three Pillars resident Doris.
I came to visit and it just felt very comfortable. It's a large campus. There's a lot of green areas. There's lots of trails that are going through it that you can walk. You can use your walker or rollie on it. They bought a bunch of trikes and I want to try one of those three-wheelers and get it out on one of those walking paths. And for me, it's home with wonderful people.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
This is The Fix-It Show on WTMJ. Advice and opinions expressed during the program are solely that of the hosts or guests and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC. When it comes to home repairs, we could all use a guy. Well, we've got the guy. And we've got the show. For all your home improvement questions, we've got answers. This is The Fix-It Show on WTMJ, presented by J&B Construction and Siding Unlimited. Now, here's your host, Dayton Kane and David Nason.
If you missed hour number 1, you can always find the Fix-It Show podcast on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. It is now hour number 2, and we're joined by a guest.
Right. Lots of really good information that first hour, but Jeff Ellsworth with Gatish Foundation is here in the studio. Welcome, Jeff.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Jeff, clarify, now when people hear Gatish Foundation, you guys aren't giving out money to people. This is a foundation company doing repair work.
Correct. We repair foundations.
Okay. All right. So where do you guys all travel to and what do you guys all do?
We try to stay in southeast Wisconsin. We travel, far. We try not to go any farther than, Racine area. We go to Oconomowoc and we go probably to Mequon. We will go a little farther than that if necessary, but it kind of makes it, a little tough to get the crews to be driving an hour every morning.
With the big trucks that they need.
And it adds too much onto the job. It doesn't make it beneficial for the person doing the work.
Sure.
Right.
So how long have you guys been in business?
Well, Corey started this business in 1977.
So a while now.
It's been a while.
Yeah, a few years.
And this year, I'm assuming with how wet it's been, you guys have been very busy.
Very busy. Very busy. It's a lot of, people forget their basement's leak until they do again. They think, it's not leaking anymore. Well, it's been dry for 2 months.
Now it's been dry, yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, we do a lot of real estate transaction work, so, a lot of people, they didn't even know they had a problem until they went in their basement. And that's one of the problems. If people would go and document what's in their basement when they buy the house, it'd be a lot easier to have a baseline when we check it when they sell it.
Sure. Yeah. And we're seeing more home inspections again. So, yeah, people don't know until a home inspector comes and finds something that should be looked at a little bit more.
Oh, I truthfully believe some of these people have no idea that crack's been in their wall for years. Or I've seen it it's been there since we bought the house.
Yeah.
I've heard that a million times.
Okay. Yeah. So then it should be on the condition report.
Which could be true, but
absolutely
if you had an inspection done, you should have that on there that proves, yes, this crack was here as long as I've lived here.
Is like there's a 10-year rule?
10 years.
Yeah, so explain that.
10 years. So a wall from 0 to 1 inch out of plumb can be stabilized. A wall 1 inch and over either needs to be excavated or an engineer needs to look at it. The key to both those statements are, it's after built condition, and second of all is ongoing movement. If a wall you can prove does not have ongoing movement, you don't need to fix it. A wall that's 1 inch out of plumb, let's say, and you have a home inspector's report that you didn't throw away, and you have it in your your bag of tricks when you go to sell a house. In your paperwork, you pull it out, and look at David was there in 2000, and it was an inch out of plumb. Now I go back and measure it's an inch out of plumb. Guess what?
not moving.
You're good
It's
to go.
not moving. You're good. Let's move on.
Right. So, but you said 2000, but it's at least 10 years.
10 years. At least 10
kind
years.
of that rule of thumb. So that basically, so people should really go down and look at their basements. And let's say you're going to sell in 4 or 5 years. At least 4 or 5 years is a good amount of time. You don't have the full 10, but you can say, well, yeah, that's been there at least 5 years, and I can prove it somehow by taking a picture,
Holding a tape measure up, holding a newspaper up if you
with
don't
a date
have
on it. Yeah. Pictures these days are all date stamped.
Not if you're 80.
It's not like you're using a Polaroid. I saw somebody last week that had a Polaroid camera. They pulled it out of the basement. They were actually using it. It's like, wow, you can still get that film? Amazing. But anyways, back to basements. You want to make sure you're looking at your basement. Be aware. Don't do the out of sight, out of mind kind of thing, because it can surprise you.
And the biggest deal is get more than one opinion. Do not let one person come in your house, sit in your house for 4 hours and tell you need $100 million worth of work, and you better sign right now or your house is going to fall over.
Wow, $100 million.
Well,
that's again,
I just wanted to make some big number.
I know.
You need to do it. I tell people this. You get 3 contractors in and they all agree on the repair, you're pretty sure it's the right repair. If you get 3 contractors in and don't agree on the repair, you got 3 choices. You pick the highest because you think it's the best, you pick the lowest because it's the cheapest, or you pick the guy you like the best. 3 really bad ways to pick a contractor.
Right, yeah. The other option is trying to find somebody who is independent.
Yeah. With lots of people out there. Engineers, consultants, home inspectors.
And an independent person basically is going to be somebody that doesn't have any benefit to whether there's damage or not. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. They don't have any affiliation or direct
no skin in the game.
Exactly. There's the best way of saying it.
All right, we do need to take our first break, but you can find them at gaidish.com. That's GAI dish.com. GAIDISH.com. With us all hour, Jeff is going to be hanging out, so get your calls and texts in at 855-616-1620. It is the Fix It Show, and this is WTMJ.
When we're out in your town, come say hi to us as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're out on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show, wherever we may be, you can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
WTMJ.
Oak Creek Lions Fest returns Friday through Labor Day, and this year's lineup could be the hottest yet with 3 live music venues, family fun, games, carnival rides, the Oak Creek Lions Big Money $8,000 cash raffle, helicopter rides, and live local band favorites rockin' every day. Featuring great food with Friday's fish fry, Saturday's famous steak sandwiches, along with their ever-popular pork and beef sandwiches on Sunday and Monday. All 3 stages will be jamming great hits with the hottest in local live music from The Toys, Third Coast Blues Collective, Floor It, Bella Kane, The Blues Disciples, Matt and Sadie, Mount Olive and Reverend Raven, and Westside Andy with the Chain Smokin' Altar Boys, along with a bunch of other great bands. Don't miss the 2024 Oak Creek Lions Fest, 2 miles east of I-94 and 3 blocks north of Ryan Road at 9327 South Shepherd Avenue. Free admission, free parking. Friday through Labor Day, it's Oak Creek Lions Fest. Find out more at oakcreeklions.com, oakcreeklions.com.
In this seller's market, even homeowners are trying to sell their own home. But more times than not, it doesn't work out like they'd hoped. And while homes like theirs are selling, and selling fast for over asking prices, their homes aren't. So what's your next best strategy? Well, if you're looking to relieve yourself of the stress of selling your own home and still get top dollar while getting the full service benefits that an experienced realtor can give you, then look no further. I'm Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where 3.5 to 3.9% commission assures that you pay less for full service. Only 11% of those trying to sell their own homes actually succeed. And of those that do sell their own home, they sell on average for 26% less than agented properties. This often negates the savings they were hoping to get by doing it on their own. So why do it on your own when you have an experienced realtor that will give you full service at only 3.5 to 3.9% commission? Don't let your home sit while others are selling faster and at potentially better than asking prices. Call Benefit Realty for a highly experienced agent, and you'll pay less for full service.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. It's your knee that's bugging you, right? Or is it your back? For some of us, it's the hips. Achy joints with pain you can't get over. Well, there is a way to fix it. There is a way to get lasting pain relief using your own body's healing properties. It's all thanks to QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine. QC Kinetics can help enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back to doing all the fun things you like to do without pain. No surgery, no painkillers, and no downtime. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in using cellular therapies. If you want to learn more, the consultations are free. You can set up an appointment at QC Kinetics. They have clinics in Mequon and in Greenfield. Here's the number, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call now and get lasting joint pain relief with the help from QC Kinetics. 414-285-3474.
Need advice? Call 855-616-1620. Our expert home inspector is here to help. It's the Fix-It Show on WTMJ.
Going to be a beautiful day, sunny, a high of 83 at 67 in Milwaukee. Dayton Kane and David Nason here with Jeff from Gatish Foundation Company, where they are fixing up your basement if you need it. When you go into somebody's home, we weren't talking about this before, but when you go in, are you always writing an order? Is there always something that you can do, or is there sometimes you go in and go, no, this is just fine, you don't need to worry about it?
I'll bet you 2 out of 10 houses that we go in don't need work, or people have the option, especially if you own the home. We give you the option. We document what's there, and you can monitor the home. When you sell a home, we have to protect the person that's buying the home tomorrow. I always say, who's going to own a home tomorrow? And that's the person I'm there for. I don't care who called me. So no, a lot of times it's there's you got a pyramid in the corner that's all stained in. People say, is that drain? Tell you, I don't think that water ran up that hill. You go on the outside and there's a gutter that's completely off, or a lot of times they freeze and split in the back and people don't even know it. Fix the gutter and watch it. And 95% of the time, oh my goodness, it's all good.
Or it's an old underground drain, the old cast iron drains that are tipped and they're cracked and they're leaking right into the ground. But you don't have anywhere else to go with a downspout or an extension. So you got to do the best you can. Rain barrels, which require maintenance, but you do have to really look at your drainage. Grading is the ground, drainage is downspouts and extensions.
Okay, so let's get to this text, 855-616-1620. What should I know about good egress windows, perils, and who installs them?
Well, of course, we install them, but there's a lot of companies that install egress windows. So first you got to look at what site kind of well you want. There's the galvanized one-piece wells that just slide in. It's one big giant galvanized well. There's fiberglass wells that have the staircases built right into them. There's masonry wells where people put in masonry. You know, all that depends on the amount of investment you want to put into your home, about the look you want at the end. You just have to be careful you don't go and get the cheapest well that's going to collapse. If you push on, it's going to collapse. Don't put ground behind it and hope it's going to work.
Right.
And then the size that matters. Normally a 48 by 48 inch slider will be pretty well good for any window, for both light and for accessibility. It depends if it's on a load bearing wall or a non-load bearing wall. If you have a window that goes up into the brickwork of your house, you got to remember that brickwork is going to be compromised. You're going to have to replace that brickwork on top, which is going to either have to put an angle iron in to support the brick, or put some kind of a header in.
Sure.
So a lot of things go into that question.
Sure.
A simple, go get a well at your local hardware store and stick it in is not what I consider a good answer.
Right.
You need to decide what you want and what you want it to look like before you start looking for the well and window.
Off air, we were talking about it. The window, the sill by state code has to be no more than 44 inches off the floor. If you have one that is, you can put a permanent step in to get you to that 44 inches. So that's possible if you're, like, say, at 48 or something, because I think that number has changed over the years. So 44 inches off the floor. The opening, you mentioned a 48-inch slider, so you have to have an opening that is 24 inches. It's 24 by 20 or 20 by 24, and it can be in either direction, but it's got to be that size.
It's the square inches.
Yeah. And then you mentioned daylight. Any room, a bedroom, has to have 8% of the floor area has to be daylight.
That's excluding the closets.
Right. Yeah, a bedroom does not have to have a closet. That's a misnomer.
Correct, but if there is one, you don't have to count that as the
right. So a bedroom in Wisconsin has to have egress and daylight, and a ceiling of 50% of the ceiling has to be 7 feet or higher. So those are the requirements of a habitable room, and then also bedroom in Wisconsin.
Okay. So there you go. Good question. Keep them coming in. 855-616-1620, the WTMJ talk and text line. Jeff with Gadish Foundation Company in with us. If you have questions about the basement, now's the time to get them in. It is the Fix It Show on WTMJ.
The Parker bedroom is Penny Mustard's most popular Louis Philippe-inspired design.
Louis who? He was the King of France. Ooh la la.
Actually, King Louis Philippe wasn't as flashy as his predecessors.
He wasn't into formal robes or ornate ceremonies.
In the same way, the Parker bedroom's look is classic, not extravagant.
That's why the Parker is so remarkable.
Solid construction.
Full extension drawer glides. Drawer bottom strong enough to stand on.
And hidden storage compartments in every piece.
That's the Parker bedroom at Penny Mustard. You know, I love France.
Really?
Especially the fries. Oh. And the toast.
Well.
Not to mention poodles, braids, and onion soup.
Wow.
Do you like France? Oui, oui. Oh, sure. Down the hall, second door on the right.
The Parker bedroom, starting at just $280 a month with only 1 penny down and no interest till September of 2027 through September 8th at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Frank Daniels, our Madison goldsmith, has an idea.
Bring him in.
Hey, Rick. Hey, Sarah. Hi, Monica.
It's great to see you, Frank. What's your idea?
It's a new company policy.
Let's hear it.
You know the world-famous Kessler's warranty?
If you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed. It's just that simple. Even if you lose a diamond, including the center stone, we'll replace it. All maintenance is free forever. Yes, it really is that miraculous.
Every time I hear that warranty, it blows my mind.
I propose we have a jewelry cleaning policy that's as amazing as that warranty.
What would it say?
Bring us your jewelry and we will professionally clean it. While you wait, for free. You can come in as often as you want, and we don't care where you bought your jewelry. The only thing that matters is that you want it to look amazing again. We want that too.
I vote yes.
I vote yes. I vote yes. The motion carries.
Congratulations, Frank. Your idea is now company policy.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Emergency service 24/7. Quality Heating has 25 trucks ready to work around the clock to get out there quickly to solve your heating or AC problem. So when that system goes on the fritz and you want to avoid that sweaty summer heat or bypass the fear of frozen feet, the man in the red van can't be beat when it comes to prompt, reliable service. Call Quality Heating for any emergency HVAC need.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality Heating, Quality Heating.
There's a reason why we install Armstrong Air Pro Series systems. When your reputation is on the line, you pick the brand you can trust. It's like our employees. You pick the best to preserve your good name. A guy like me that's been working on furnaces and AC systems for over half my life. I got an eye for the good stuff. And Armstrong Air Pro Series systems fit the bill. This is Anthony Zanevsky with Quality Heating. When you need a good crew installing a system you can rely on, see the man in the red van.
Quality Heating, Quality Heating.
If we don't know the answer, we know someone who does. It's the Fix It Show on WTMJ.
This hour, the someone who does is Jeff from Gadish Foundation Company. 855-616-1620, the WTMJ talk and text line. Give us a call or send us a text if you have questions about the basement. I see here it says, here's what you guys do. Straighten walls, reinforce walls, rebuild walls, waterproof walls. What's the difference between all those different things? Like, why would I be doing one versus another? Or do I do it all at the same time?
It depends on how long you waited. I think that's basically the easiest way to say it.
Yeah.
I mean, number one, everything is good. Number two, it's got a little crack and it's not too bad. Now we brace the wall, and that doesn't fix the wall. It stabilizes the wall so there's no further movement. When you need to fix a wall, now you need to, if it's over an inch, and again, let's talk about that next, but an inch out of plumb, and all of a sudden, let's say it's an inch and a half out of plumb, sheared corners, sliding. Now you excavate the wall, you hydraulically push it back into shape, you fix the cracks on the inside, the outside of the wall. You put steel braces up, backfill with 90% stone, 20% soil, new exterior drain tile, bleeders, yada, yada, yada. Then it goes one step farther. Now that wall's been really bad for a long time, and I still didn't fix anything, or a brick wall that's falling in or something. Now you're to the point to where we can't fix it anymore. It's in too bad of shape. So now it's dig the wall out, crib the house, replace the wall. A lot of times replace the footing. So the longer you wait, the point here is go in your basement and look, because the longer you wait, it doesn't get any cheaper.
And it doesn't get any better.
Right, it doesn't. Yeah. I've never seen a wall fix itself.
People ask, I get that question. Is this going to get any worse? And I was like, it's not going to get any better.
Right.
And so it can get worse, but it's definitely not getting any better by itself. Like you said, it's not going to fix itself.
So here's a question. So my house, they obviously did this because I have steel beams on 2 of my walls in my basement. Do I now not have to worry? Are those beams a fix-all for good and I'm good to go? Or what am I...
If they're installed per WFRP standards and they're installed, the WFRP standards were something that a lot of contractors took a lot of time to get not only written, and it's overkill, I agree, but
because it was done by an engineer.
Done by an engineer, and now it's been adopted into the state code.
Right.
If WFRP standards were followed, those beams are 100% not going to fail. We've never, knock on wood, we've never had a contractor that followed WFRP standard get sued since implementing the WFRP standards for structural failure.
I don't remember. I inspected Dayton's homes after he bought it. Do you remember what size the beams are, approximately?
I mean, they're a couple, maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches thick, and then they run the full length.
Right, but because years ago,
from the wall, they're about probably 4 inches out.
So it's a little bigger. Not the ones that they're being used today, because they increased the size, but way back they were only like
2 by 3.
2 by 3, and I've seen those bending.
And especially if they're spaced too far apart.
So
what's supposed to be the space?
Depending on, well, again, it's another. I believe at Gatish we space our beams 32 to 36 inches when we can.
Okay.
The height of the wall up to 90 inches, 2 by 5 by 3 16-inch beams. Up to 12 courses, you can put a 3 by 5 by a 1/4 inch wall beam. Anything over 12 inches, WFRP standards don't follow. You need an engineer.
Yeah.
You said 12 inches. I think you meant 12 feet.
Anything over 12 feet in the basement.
Anything over 12 courses.
12 courses.
12 courses.
Okay.
96 inches.
And the 32 inches makes sense because typically that's lining up with your joist, every second joist.
So the other option is 48.
Yeah.
But when you space beams at 33, if you put them against a wall, you miss 5 block, 1 block every other course between the beams. Once you space them at 48 inches, you miss the whole pyramid, 2 1 2 1 2 1. You miss 17 block. It's a big difference.
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna go measure mine now to see where they fall.
Right.
Where they fall.
Well, the biggest do they look like they're bending or moving?
Well, that's the other thing you think about basements, right? So I've got shelving along all my walls. So to see that stuff. To check once a year or every other year, I'm pulling everything out, being able to see what's behind there. Have you ever seen it where you reinforce 2 of the walls, but you didn't do the third, and then the third one starts getting more pressure, or is that normally not?
No, you never know. I mean, like you said before, we don't know that's why when people see a wall 1/4 inch out of plumbing, they go, oh my goodness, we should beam this. And I went, what about the other 3?
That are finished.
You need to do your grading, downspouts, and gutters. You need to keep the water away from your house so the expansion and contraction of clay soil takes less effect on the wall.
Sure.
And especially in Wisconsin with the freeze and thaw cycle. There's a reason the wall, if you look at the walls, 80% of the walls they crack at the 3rd to 4th course from the top. It's the frost line. Everything above it freezes. Everything below it doesn't freeze. Like I said, I didn't go to college. This isn't brain surgery. It's you need to do your maintenance on your house. If they would have backfilled with stone 50 years ago, I'd be broke.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't be.
The things we learn as we get further and further into time, right? Mm-hmm. All right. Jeff is with us for another half hour. Gatish Foundation. You can find them at Gatish. That's GAIDISH.com. Gatish.com. 855-616-1620 with your calls and texts. We'd love to hear from you. It is a Fix-It Show on WTMJ.
Traffic is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management. It's time to know the difference, and Annex Wealth Management is ready to help with investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary partner. AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button.
It's time for the 2024 MBA Parade of Homes, presented by Nuns. See 14 new homes by 14 MBA builders in 2 locations, Fox River Falls in Menominee Falls and Autumn Trace in New Berlin. See the latest new home designs, grand finishes, and cutting-edge features in convenient subdivision locations that offer exciting opportunities to build your dream home. Don't miss the Metropolitan Builders Association's Parade of Homes, August 10th through September 2nd. For tickets and hours, visit mbaparadeofhomes.com today.
Genesis and the rest of the Old Testament is the story of how the Messiah made his way to us through one human family. Our story is of how the Messiah makes a way to all families.
Dr. Michael Ziegler begins our 92nd season of broadcasting with a message titled The One, this week on The Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
David Nason and Dayton Kane. It's the Fix-It Show on WTMJ.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be a beautiful Saturday, sunny and 83. 855-616-1620, the WTMJ talking text line. Somebody texted in, David, please say the third requirement for a bedroom. 7 feet or higher ceiling.
Well, 50% of the room has to have a 7 foot or higher ceiling.
Okay.
Daylight is 8% of the floor, so a 100 square foot bedroom, 10 by 10, and like Jeff said, don't include the closet. So a 10 by 10 room has to have 8 square feet of glass or daylight.
Okay.
And then the third is egress, meaning a window that has a dimension 24 inches wide by 20 high or 20 inches wide by 24 high. So that those two dimensions can go in either direction, but it's square inch opening.
Or bigger.
Yeah, or bigger. Yes, that's the minimum.
I'm going to say the bigger that we get as humans, do you think they need to up that a little bit so people can get out?
It's part of it. It's about a fire getting in.
Oh, interesting.
As well.
Didn't think about that part.
Yeah, but mostly it's getting out, but yes.
All right. So, foundation specialists, that's what you guys call yourselves. 1977 you started, the company started, and you've been doing it ever since. What does the average person, when you walk into their house, they're most shocked about or surprised about?
We're there.
The fact that you're there at all.
They're not usually not. Again, I always tell people, no one I don't like us, but no one wants us there. We're not there to give you a pretty kitchen, pretty bathroom.
No, right.
We're there to tell you what you have to do to structure your house. We don't. Sometimes you have a finished basement. We make your life miserable because everything has to come down.
Yeah.
You can't tell people what they want to hear, and that's the hardest part about what we do. You have to go into business. I believe my job is not to go and sell you a basement repair. I believe me and the other people at Gators, it's our job to train you and educate you on your basement so you can make an informed decision on how to fix your basement.
Right. And similarly, I'm a home inspector. I'm not the one giving you bad news. I say the house is giving. I'm just the one finding it.
I'm delivering
Don't shoot the messenger.
I'm giving you information, just like you said. I'm giving you information you can use to make your decisions on purchasing, not purchasing, renegotiating, or something. So in your case, you're giving them the information that they need to decide, okay, what am I going to do as far as going forward and fixing. So, and sometimes it's not good news.
Again, people don't. No one there's not a lot of people that say hello. I mean, at the end, they don't they're sitting there scared. They don't want you, and they defend a lot of. You get the people that they know it. They've been waiting. Get the other people that defend. That's been like that since the day I bought the house. And you've done any work to it? No. Well, why is the caulk wet inside the crack?
Yeah.
I didn't do that. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
So what's the likelihood of a basement or a foundation completely collapsing? Because you mentioned you get to that point eventually. Because I see old farmhouses that are built with stone and concrete.
4 feet thick.
Yeah, that's true. They're
Been
a lot
there
thicker.
100 years.
They're a lot thicker.
That question's asked more than you can ask. And I tell people this: you watch the news, you read the newspaper. Not so much the newspaper anymore, but I came when the newspaper was still around. How many times you read about that basement caving in?
Yeah,
very seldom.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of times the basement caves in because. The one time in Franklin, I remember one happening because the outside of the yard was full of water. The basement had 6 feet of water in it, and the people thought it was a good idea to get a big giant pump and pump the water out of their basement. The problem is it's like a pool. They unequalize the pressure in the wall cave.
Sure.
Yeah, so you got to have a major rain event.
Well, you got to have
something.
some. You really have to neglect your basement to have a wall cave in.
Right.
I mean, I really don't see a lot of complete failures.
Yeah, where you're like, we can't do anything for this.
And even if a brick wall is really bowing in, a house is a system. I mean, the house isn't generally going to collapse even if a part of one wall comes in a little bit. I remember watching this old house, and the guys were demoing a bathroom area. They took out the bathroom, and they took out the tub, and the joists were almost completely gone. And you're like, how did that tub not fall through the floor? Well, if it was just on the joists that were all rotten, it probably would, but it's attached to the wall, and things are all attached to each other. So it's a wall, but it's also part of a system.
And on a brick wall, it's not a standard, but in a policy at Gatish's, you need an engineer to look at a brick wall. What people don't understand is that brick wall you're looking at on your basement, you go outside, that's not the same brick wall.
Yeah, it's a multi-width.
It's got a brick wall, an air gap, and a brick wall. And they're all built differently. I mean, sometimes they're three. They're three wide. Mm-hmm. It's really critical because you can see walls, basement, block walls or poured walls. They're out of plumb 2 inches without any cracks, and you go, I mean, the mason built it that way. Again, the key is what I'm trying to, I guess, push every time I talk today is. It's not about how far the wall is out of plumb. It's ongoing movement. You have to find ongoing movement.
So somebody who's got a finished basement, is there something else that they can look at to maybe, is there something going on either outside, look at windows or something?
A lot of things. You can reach your hand behind the siding if there's siding. You can look if the brick facade has got a bow to it. Mm-hmm. You can look if the windows, all walls that move in considerably, if the windows are the original windows to the house.
Right.
They will always be pushed in at the bottom because the wall underneath the window moved, which slid the window in. Yeah. So you go there, you go on the outside, look at the corners. They're shearing in the corner. And the big telltale sign is go on the wall that the I-beam sits on, go outside and basically look at the roof, find the roof line, look down the roof line, and if you see a block sticking out of that wall, it's because the I-beam doesn't move and the wall moved in and pushed that block out.
Right.
So there's a lot of ways you can tell. I mean, one of the worst ways, and I do it, and I tell the people I'm doing this, but don't listen to me. It's just whatever. You grab the ceiling tile, you push on the ceiling tile. If the ceiling tile are really tight, there's the potential of the wall had moved in. If they're old ceiling tile and you push them on, they're all nice and loose. There's no bending in the tracks. Maybe the wall's fine.
Yeah.
And that's all guessing. Without taking that wall covering down, we're guessing.
Yeah, I did a home inspection once. Now you say that, completely finished basement, but it was older paneling, suspended ceiling, the whole row along the wall. The not just the tiles were broken, but the actual members were all buckled.
Sure.
And I can't remember if it was for the seller or buyer or something. They're like, yeah, we don't know. I said, that wall's moving. I can't measure because it's paneled, but I know that wall's moving. Just so so you got to pull all this off and have it looked at.
That's why it's so important to get someone in there that is just not trying to sell you a job. Mm-hmm. It's so important, and that's why there are people out in the world that do just independent, that they're looking out for you, not for their pocketbook. And like I said, I'm a believer you use contractors, but if you get 3 different opinions, call an engineer, call a Mike Shadid, call somebody like that has nothing to gain by what they tell you. There are people out there that they do the same thing with drain tile testing. You're going to let a contractor test your drain tile? It makes no sense. You're letting the wolf in the hen house. There's independent people that you pay them, you get the report, and now you hire 3 contractors or whatever you want to do, and you let them fight for the job. You let them. They have to work to get that job instead of trying to be the smartest guy on the home. Independent people, home inspectors, drain tile testing people, engineers, consultants. I think that is a big, big, big part of knowing the proper repair and being comfortable in the end.
Great advice.
Yeah, right.
855-616-1620, the WTMJ talk and text line. Jeff from Gadish Foundation Company on with us. You can get your questions in for him. We have 2 segments left, so you're running out of time. Don't let it slip by. It is the Fix It Show on WTMJ.
Eric Brown and his crew from Siding Unlimited can fix whatever's wrong with the outside of your house. How do you know what's wrong with it? Well, look for these trouble signs. On your windows, paint peeling, wood rot or damage from condensation? How well do they operate? Got mold on the storm windows? Siding have any dents, holes, or chips, paint, or color issues? Is the caulking cracked? How's the flashing? Roof look okay? How about your doors? Decks are another place for critical inspection. Maybe you'd just like to have a new one. Eric is a regular here on the Fix It Show. You regular listeners are aware of his expertise. He's president of Siding Unlimited, but that's not a desk job. He's out there working with the crews, inspecting people's structure problems and fixing them. Siding Unlimited will fix yours too. Make a note to contact Siding Unlimited online at sidingunlimited.com or see Siding Unlimited's unique outside-in showroom near Gerke's Corners in Brookfield.
Point! Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Ugh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
It's summer in Britain, and the crimes are just getting started.
I found another body.
Stream the best of British crime drama only on BritBox. Don't miss new seasons of acclaimed series like Blue Lights, which Time Out calls Belfast's answer to The Wire.
Back up, over!
And The Responder, starring Martin Freeman in his international Emmy award-winning role.
I can feel it. I'm gonna crack.
Stream the best of British crime drama on BritBox.
No, this is why I want to be a detective.
Watch with a free trial today.
At Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, we have finance options for new exterior remodeling projects for almost anybody. And if you have the right credit, we'll beat your bank's rate.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semperfi!
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. As the largest lighting supplier to new home builders and decorators in Wisconsin, our huge showroom displays all the finest brands of lighting and ceiling fans, including such top brands as Visual Comfort, Tech, and many more. And our expert staff will assist you in making the right selections. Our prices are always the lowest. I guarantee it. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. BBC is open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 and on Saturday from 10 to 4. We're located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's and Bachman Furniture, all near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
We can't help fix your relationship, but we can help with that leak. It's the Fix It Show on WTMJ.
Dayton Kane and David Nason here. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate that. The Hy-Vee Milwaukee Mile 250s at the State Fairgrounds. So if you hear some engines revving, that's what's going on over that way today. We do have Jeff from Gadish Foundation Company on with us, 855-616-1620 if you have questions about your foundation on your home. And David, do you have there's a 1-inch rule? What were you talking about before?
The WAF-RAP standards, the Wisconsin Association of Foundation Repair Professionals, came up with some standards. 2003, I think it was.
2003, adopted in 2017.
And then
to the
they were updated again in like 2012 or something, and then now adopted in the state standards. It was so, I guess, well written, but a little bit, on the strong side, just because of engineers always have a safety factor in everything they do, which that's good. We got to keep people safe. We got to keep buildings from falling down and stuff. But now, explain. One of the things, as you mentioned, is that 1-inch rule. So home inspectors kind of, 1 inch, wall needs to be excavated straight and everything. But you've said it a few times.
Yeah, but the other thing on that, the state, to get it adopted to the code, made us put a 30% buffer in there.
Okay.
So that's why it was 60, had to go to 90.
Okay.
So 1 inch, it was just figure contractors sitting around and talking about what this number's going to be, quarter inch to 7 inches, whatever. The number we decided on was 1 inch, and 1 inch. We believe that any person can beam a wall under an inch and not get in trouble, and any person can excavate a wall over an inch and not get in any trouble. That 1 inch rule is not this set in stone number. All it's telling you that if it's over an inch after built condition, you can get an engineer to look at it. It's kind of protecting everybody from themselves. You can always do more. If a wall's an inch out of plumb with a lot of shearing and you got water staining on the wall, high on the wall, you can beam that wall, but it's not going to change the water staining on the wall. And I'm kind of going off topic because I just remembered another topic. But so 1 inch is why it really has to be. If you're at 1 1/4 inches or you're at 3/4 of an inch, look at the condition of the wall. That really what determines the repair is the condition of the wall, not the amount of movement, because that number is a made up number.
Right. And you said after built, so that means including, look at the corners of the walls.
Take
right?
the corners, the measurements out of plumb in the corner, divide that by 2. That gives you built condition. Then go in the center of the wall, and take the corners off the center, gives you after built condition. And look for cracks. If the wall has no repair, no cracks, mortar joints are still original mortar joints, nobody's touched them up, no caulk, that wall didn't move.
Yeah.
Walls don't bend, ever.
Yeah. That's why I get asked a lot of times, should I paint my foundation walls? Well, not if you're going to be moving in the next year or so. But if you're not moving for who knows when, go ahead and paint them.
Take pictures before you do.
Yeah, but because sometimes that can tell us if you can go down in a basement or an old ranch and it's painted yellow, because it seemed like everybody painted their basement yellow back then.
Or green.
Yeah, or green. It's like, and then you don't see any cracks or anything. But if you painted it and now there's cracks, it's like, well, that just told me your wall's moving, right?
Or better yet, the yellow and green paint is inside that crack.
Yes.
That didn't grow.
No.
It was there when the crack was there. Oh, yeah. I go to houses, they paint them and caulk them, and I went,
yeah.
Uh-oh. I mean, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
Well, a realtor said it would look better. Well, your realtor maybe should get a different job.
A lot of flippers do that.
Oh.
You go down in the basement of a flipped house, and it's bright white, and all you smell is paint.
Yeah, white, black, and gray.
Yeah, gray floor. You're right. Exactly. He's been in a lot of houses.
He's been in a lot of basements, it sounds like. So again, don't paint it if you're going to sell in the next couple of years, because it may look like you're hiding something.
Exactly.
And they're going to get in.
And most likely, you're not going to be successful, because you're going to see the caulk joints. The stains are going to come through the paint, or the paint's going to peel off or something. It's going to tell us more if you paint it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's always shiny when they caulk it and then paint over it. It's shiny, or they tell you, "No, we didn't paint it." Why is that? Well, we touched it up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's not paint. They try to match the paint. It always looks different.
And caulk joints look much different than a tooled mortar joint.
Any mason that strikes a joint off differently. Everyone has their own style of striking off a joint and their own tool.
Yeah.
So you look and you can kind of see if the joints are original to the home or they've been redone. One of them is 1/8 of an inch thick, and the other one's 1 1/4 inches thick. No, that was like that. Okay, and I'm not going to argue with them. What are you going to do? Liar. You say, oh, okay. Well, maybe because sometimes, I've been to enough houses, but they have documentation that they backfilled too soon and pushed the wall in, and they fixed that wall 50 years ago, but they have documentation that when they backfilled, the wall moved in, and it's exactly the way it was. So it's 2 inches out of plumb, but it didn't move. There was just one in Oak Creek.
Yeah.
They had pictures and documentation that the guy ran the Bobcat into the wall.
So they call it a green mortar crack. Is that I've heard that?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. People believe or don't believe in that. They say green mortar cracks. If the mortar was still wet when it cracked, you'll get an uneven crack. It'll go up and down, top bottom. I believe there's some validity to that, and there's other contractors. You mentioned green mortar cracks. They say you're out of your mind. So I when I look at a basement, it's like I start over. I start your basement's the first basement. I don't take what I saw somewhere else when I look at your basement.
Right.
A lot of things follow suit. But look at each one as an individual project, an individual basement, and look outside to see. You're on the bottom of a hill and you have high water staining, and you're going to do drain tile on that house. You think that drain tile on your floor is going to fix the high water seepage on the wall? It won't.
Right. Yeah, you're right. The 2-story colonial detached garage, next house over, 2-story detached garage, they're all just a little bit different.
Right.
I see that in my inspections too. Yeah.
Based out of St. Francis, Wisconsin, Gadish Foundation Company on with us this hour on the Fix It Show. They pretty much span all of southeastern Wisconsin. If you want to give them a call, what's the number?
414-282-1800.
Okay. Gadish.com is the website. GAIDISH.com. We will be back with our final segment with Jeff on the Fix It Show.
Get inside the mind of Mark Tauscher.
When you did the impressions of Coach Alvarez, which I love doing on the radio with the state now.
See the world from his perspective.
When Barry would get really mad or very frustrated, his voice goes up 15 octaves.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, every day at 7:50.
God dang it, come on, we got guys over at the towers not paying attention.
Mark Tauscher, presented by Hello Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and Kohler Services.
Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. Add a chiropractic screening to your kid's back-to-school checklist. Reed came to Connect Chiro at just 9 years old. Sleep issues, headaches, getting sick all the time. I talked with his mom. He's now getting better sleep, better attendance at school, better health since she put her son in the care of Dr. Alex Young and his team. Great for kids because these docs use a special tool for all the adjustments. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. In Delafield and Wauwatosa, Go Connect Chiro. That's GoConnectChiro.com.
Oak Creek Lions Fest returns Friday through Labor Day, and this year's lineup could be the hottest yet with 3 live music venues, family fun, games, carnival rides, the Oak Creek Lions Big Money $8,000 cash raffle, helicopter rides, and live local band favorites rockin' every day. Featuring great food with Friday's fish fry, Saturday's famous steak sandwiches, along with their ever-popular pork and beef sandwiches on Sunday and Monday. All 3 stages will be jamming great hits with the hottest in local live music from The Toys, Third Coast Blues Collective, Florit, Bella Kane, The Blues Disciples, Matt and Sadie, Mount Olive and Reverend Raven, and Westside Andy with the Chain-Smoking Altar Boys, along with a bunch of other great bands. Don't miss the 2024 Oak Creek Lions Fest, 2 miles east of I-94 and 3 blocks north of Ryan Road at 9327 South Shepherd Avenue. Free admission, free parking. Friday through Labor Day, it's Oak Creek Lions Fest. Find out more at oakcreeklions.com, oakcreeklions.com.
Gadish Foundation, founded in 1977, is proudly serving southeast Wisconsin. If you see movement, cracks in basement walls, seepage or staining on the bottom of your basement walls, you may have a basement issue. Gadish prides themselves on being very good at what they do. They come to your home and educate you on what you see, and they discuss your options moving forward. Over 90% of their jobs are done through referrals. They will give you an honest opinion of the condition of your basement. Call Gadish, G-A-I Dish, at 414-282-1800 or go to gadish.com.
Save now during the Labor Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. Special factory incentives make this the perfect time to save 35% on a new sofa, chair, or sectional crafted by Norwalk Furniture. American made with your choice of fabric or leather in a style and size to fit your need. Available in as little as 35 days. Can't wait? All our inventory is sale priced and ready for immediate delivery. Shop today and save during the Labor Day sale at any of our Ken Michaels Furniture stores in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. There's no doubt that a better night's sleep makes for better days, and a good quality mattress helps make it happen. When you buy your new Milwaukee mattress from Ken Michaels Furniture, you are assured of a mattress made for your needs out of the finest natural materials direct from our Milwaukee factory. We make every style, size, and firmness of mattress And with our factory direct prices, you will save up to 50% compared to other brands. Milwaukee mattresses from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. Get her done. It's the Fix-It Show on WTMJ.
Sponsored by Siding Unlimited and J&B Construction every week, and we thank them for that sponsorship. Gadish Foundation Company on with us. Jeff been with us the last hour here, and let's wrap this up. Remind people what you all do and what area you service to begin with here.
So we specialize in foundation repair. So, like I said, cracks, water, anything that has to do with a failing foundation. And like I said, one thing I'll tell you, that we will come to your home and we'll give you an honest opinion with no pressure. We will educate you on your basement. We will not be there trying to get you to, we don't even write you anything up. We kind of tell you what it's going to cost when we leave, and then we go back to the shop. We write up we still handwrite every one of our proposals because I don't want to learn a computer. Maybe that's it. But we handwrite everything, and we handwrite everything we're going to do. We don't just check boxes. And like I said, knock on wood, but we've been very fortunate. We've had a lot of success in the business, and I think our reputation is earned. And I think if you have us to your house, you'll find out why. But again, there's a lot of good companies. Use the resources. WFRP website is out there. You got your Wahi people out there. There's a lot of resources that you use. Don't just call contractors up and hope that you're going to get what you want to hear. There's horror stories, especially if you go to one of these trade shows and you get that free pen and sign your name up. You got to be careful that you're not a cold call. Don't believe everything people tell you.
Yeah. You mentioned Mike Shadid before. Is he still doing inspections?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Been around a long time.
Chuck Weber's no longer. Chuck Weber
he moved
retired.
To Florida. Yeah, I knew that.
But Mike Shadid still does them. And,
okay.
Oh, yeah. Just talked to him the other day.
Okay, good. I'll have to keep that in mind. I saw him at one of our Wahi meetings a few months back, I think.
Same telephone number.
Yeah, good.
Yep.
All right. So he's a consultant. He's a foundation consultant.
Gotcha.
He worked in the industry for a number of years and everything, and he just became an independent consultant, foundation consultant. So.
All right. You can get a free quote. There is a form you can fill out at GAIDISH.com, Gadish.com. It's Gadish Foundation. Always good information coming from Jeff when he shows up on the show.
Right.
And if you want to go to their website, there's all different kinds of information there for you as well, including some of the links to the different places you just mentioned, the different organizations that are there. So you guys been doing it a long time. We thank you for coming on with your expertise today.
Well, thank you. And if anyone has any questions, they can call and just ask questions on the phone also.
Which is?
282-1800, area code 414.
So 414-282-1800, 1800.
That's it.
414-282-1800. All right, we got it. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks,
it.
Jeff.
You're welcome. Thank
Have
you
a great
for having
holiday
me.
weekend.
You here next week?
Back next week.
You are.
Absolutely.
As am I. So enjoy your week. We will be getting into the Fox World Travel Show next. Colleen Alsberg in again. Thanks for listening to The Fix-It Show.
This has been The Fix-It Show on WTMJ, presented by J&B Construction and Siding Unlimited. Advice and opinions expressed during the program are solely that of the hosts or guests, and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC.
Big news! We're relaunching our Capital Cares Club, now with